So you may be aware that Uganda recently introduced a bill criminalising homosexuality, but not just criminalising it, enacting, I believe it's a death penalty, or proposing that the death penalty be included in the criminal justice bill for gay acts. Um, it looks like right now African countries are trying to outdo one another over which can be the most hostile to the gay community, and Uganda seems to be getting the gold right now, for sheer unpleasantry. Um, but it's worse than that. This is actually fascism. There's not really any other way to gloss it over. It's fascism, pure and simple. Um, for Uganda's gay community, they may as well be living in 1930s Germany, because what we're seeing in Uganda is absolutely disgusting. It's barbaric. It's based on lies, and it's unjustified. I don't intend to make this a very long video, because a lot of it's sort of widely covered anyway, but apparently people have been celebrating this bill on the streets of Kampala, praising President Museveni, saying they support his bill, and they're celebrating the introduction of it. To me, this is essentially not that different from Hitler Youth celebrating the deportation of Jews. I don't think that's an extreme comparison. I really don't think there's much difference. Because what we're talking about is the absolute brutal persecution of one segment of society. Now, I said it's based on lies. The lie is that homosexuality is a Western invention that came during the colonial era. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever for that claim. And it's a cowardly method that African leaders are using to stir up hatred against the gay community and present these laws as some sort of anti-colonialist legislation, in order to get support. Just bash the West in African politics, and that's bound to get you some support. I think we should automatically withdraw all aid from Uganda. I believe the Ugandans need to feel the pain, the backlash from their fascism, from their bigotry, and from their callousness towards their fellow human beings. Not just the Ugandan government. This is an occasion where I feel the population needs to feel it as well, because they support the bill. And developed countries cannot just sit by and watch this happening, because what we're seeing here is outright fascism. There is violence against the gay community, but what's happening here with this legislation is a promotion of more violence. Uganda right now must be a very scary place to be if you're a gay person. I'm not gay myself. I always say this in these videos just to clarify. It wouldn't matter if I was, but I happen to like women. I'm a straight man. But that really isn't the point. The point is, these laws are fascist. Contrary to what Museveni is claiming, they are not a Western invention, i.e. homosexuality is not a Western invention. And the argument about sovereignty, okay, let Uganda use that phony argument. I say it's phony because it contradicts international law. Let them use it. What I'm going to turn around and say is, well, okay, Western countries have a right to decide which countries they send aid to. We're going to cut off aid. We should cut off aid. And then when you turn around and say, oh, Western countries don't care about our suffering, maybe think about your fascism. Think about your barbaric attitude to your fellow human beings and how you use religion to justify it. Think about the fear that you're putting gay Ugandans through. People have done absolutely nothing to you. There's a lot of lies right now about the gay issue. For example, they're trying to indoctrinate children. There's no evidence for that. There is, however, evidence to suggest that there's widespread violence in Ugandan society against the gay community. Vile little rags have tried to spread their hatred. And I'm disgusted, really. And Ugandans can come on here and try to justify it and say, it's my colonialist mindset or whatever. You know, those arguments are really wearing thin, partly because they're so flimsy. I've news for you. Homosexuality existed before Uganda was colonized. Okay? So it's not a Western invention. There's really not much more to say. It's sinister what's happening, actually. Very sinister. And there is rumours, by the way, there is speculation that some US evangelical groups are behind this. If that's true, it's utterly shameful, and they should feel backlash as well. I.e. they're stirring up anti-gay bigotry in African countries which tend to be very religious, and they're funding these anti-gay programs. If so, they should be treated with exactly the same disdain, not more, not less, exactly the same. And they too should be barred, for example, from entry to European Union countries. And the US itself should be looking at them and doing whatever is appropriate to make them feel the consequences of what they've done. Again, I wouldn't make an analogy. That would be no different than neo-Nazis going to Germany in the 30s, i.e. the British Union of Fascists or whatever, and stirring up or funding financially the Third Reich. Like I said, I really don't think it's an extreme comparison, because for gay people in Uganda right now, and other African states, but especially Uganda, it's a fascist state. So people should not buy Ugandan products. They should not go on holiday to this country. And I really, really hope Uganda feels the pain on the world stage, because you cannot stand by and watch whilst the state persecutes its own people in this way. And gay Ugandans are still Ugandans, whatever propaganda Museveni uses. So I really do think there should be harsh consequences. Criticism really isn't enough. They don't care about that. There needs to be consequences for them to feel the pain. And I also propose that any Ugandan editor who's been responsible for publishing this filth, stirring up hatred against the gay community, should be barred from the EU. In fact, I seriously hope that we bar Uganda from the Commonwealth Games as punishment. If their athletes want to come, fine, let them come under a neutral flag or whatever, but Uganda as a state should be barred. And it's just, that's my thoughts really. I'm disgusted, but unfortunately not surprised, because this has been going on for some time.